Oh
I'll
yeah,
let you take
synchronized.
over. Vince is in
No,
charge.
I was just gonna say, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Sorry, Vince.
Good morning.
No. We're synchronized, Mr. Lopez, this morning. So, good morning, everybody. My name is Vicente with Latino Tax Pro. We have our colleague here, Roberto Cerda, Josue Rojas, our district manager for Lopez Tax Service, and of course, our CEO, Mr. Carlos Lopez. And Mr. Lopez, what are we talking about today?
Hey, Vince. Great. Good morning, everyone. So today we have our esteemed colleague Josue Rojas, enrolled agent, with us. He's our district manager for our Lopez Tax Service offices. He manages um, about 12 employees off season and about 20 employees during tax season. It's a very large practice. Our Lopez Tax Service does close to 9,000 tax returns, which includes about 200 business returns. Uh, we have a large number of bookkeeping clients, so he's pretty busy. He's also very knowledgeable, and he's going to talk today about filing status and a specific filing status, and I'll let him explain that to you. So thank you, Josue, for taking time for us today on this valuable message, and I'm turning it over to you.
Before you start, Josue, just want to remind everybody if you have any questions for him, you can submit them in the comments, whichever platform you're viewing us from. And but before you even start, Josue, do you mind introducing yourself and what you do at Lopez Tax
Yes, my
and
name's
how
Josue
many
Rojas.
returns do you do?
I,
And I
I,
know,
I don't I don't want to get into specifics. Let's just say it's a lot.
yeah,
So my name's Josue Rojas. I worked at our one of our locations in Salinas, California. We help. I want to say it's roughly about 4,000 returns that we do in our office, and we help out the general public as much as possible as we can. We try to let them know and give them knowledge if they pull out retirement plans, what their plan in the futures. Maybe they want to purchase a home. So we go into more in detail when we actually do the returns. We actually like to explain what their tax situation would be and what their future plans are going to be when they get their what they want to do as far as what the refunds or filing status or on their W-4s. Biggest issues are W-4s and what their filing status is compared to their W-4. So that's what I'm going to be going over in detail today. But yeah, I like to help or pass knowledge to as many people as I can. Help them out with maybe corporation returns, partnerships, LLCs, the different types of LLCs, trusts, estates, and nonprofits as well. But that's basically what I do at the office. Um, I am I am also learning and growing because taxes also tend to change every year, as you guys know. Uh, so today I'm going to be talking about the filing statuses. So a lot of people uh, file single. A lot of people will also file head of household. There's always a big conflict with the two for single and head of household. Now, uh, head of household, everybody feels is the best filing status so they can get the best refund. But unfortunately, that's not necessarily true in some circumstances and cases. Sure, it's a higher standard deduction, but if you're getting a head of household or claiming head of household on a tax return with low income individuals with dependents, there are certain circumstances that it's better for them to be filing single, only because they'll still get the same exact refunds as if they would as head of household. Plus, you also get less chances of being audited, um, and you also get some non-taxable refundable, or non-taxable and refundable credits as well. And I'll go over in detail on that one. So, when people file head of household, you usually get a higher standard deduction, sometimes a lower tax rate as well, depending on if your income is getting higher and higher. When you file single, what happens is your earned income tax credit still stays the same. You're still going to get the same earned income tax credits, you're also going to still get the same child tax credit. But what also matters is you also get, maybe they have a retirement plan and W-2 401k plan, and they also get that as a credit. Maybe they went to school and they got the American Opportunity Credit. In that cases, in those circumstances, in cases, the refund might be the same as if they went head of household. When you're head of household, you do get a higher chance of getting audited, but maybe your standard deduction is higher and you don't get the non-refundable credits, as far as maybe the American Opportunity Tax Credit for the school. Maybe you don't get the retirement credits that you have, and these are regarding lower income people. It's always better. I always suggest, if it doesn't change the refund, to go single. That way, when they if they do get an IRS audit letter, it's a less likely chance of them actually getting audited because they are single, instead of saying, hey, I claim head of household, I support everyone in my house. And if the circumstances that they do claim head of household and they do qualify for head of household, for sure, yeah, go ahead and claim head of household. But if they don't need to, in certain circumstances, I would not suggest that on there. Now, another situation on filing status is going to be married filing separate. It's always going to be married filing separate. Everybody confuses it with married filing single. There's no such thing as married filing single. It's married filing separate. In that circumstances, the individuals are considered married for tax purposes. And what I mean by tax purposes is that they are not officially divorced. They still live in the same household for the last 6 months, or same house for the last 6 months of the year. Now, if they are going to be married filing separate, you got to understand that you are going to get some less credits and less deductions. So you got to watch out for that one when you file married filing separate, and let the clients know there might be some certain situations that they want to keep their properties separate. So they want to separate them out, saying that, hey, I've always had my house. I want to make sure we file married filing separate. So we separate our individual properties. So that way it's not commingled together. So there might be some situations where you have it like that, and individuals like it that way. There might be some cases that a spouse has some back child support, or owes back taxes, and they want to keep it separate. And that might be a situation or a case as well. So you got to let them know that married filing separate is that you are legally married on that one. I know there's some tax laws where you can live in the same household and you can file jointly in some states. I think Texas is one of them, where you're with the partner for 7 years and you can file married filing jointly. The only thing is, when you do that filing status, it's very, very difficult to then later on filing separate later on in the future. It gets kind of a little bit trickier or messy. You have to make sure this different living situations, different addresses, and everything like that. Another tricky filing status is qualifying widower. So a lot of people, when a spouse passes away or spontaneously dies for that tax year, they want to automatically put qualifying widower, which is fine. But the issue would be is they have to have a dependent. So you just can't put qualifying widower and they don't have any dependents. So you got to make sure that when you do that filing status, that they do have a qualifying dependent to qualify for that qualifying widower. So that is a very, I guess it's a quick training, but for someone that's doing their taxes on their own or themselves, they don't understand that. So you want to make sure that you make it very clear for them when they file the returns that qualifying widower means that you have to have a qualifying dependent as well. And then, of course, if the uh, always using, kind of a benefit as well as married filing jointly. Um, I know we talked about filing separate, but married filing jointly is a higher standard deduction, but not necessarily get as much as the benefits. Plus, you also commingle or combine both incomes on that situation. So, uh, married filing jointly is a pretty good, solid deduction. I know, but not necessarily for the credits. I know the House passed a bill. I'm not sure what the bill is called, but they just passed it. I want to say yesterday or day before, 2 days ago, maybe. I think it's 3939. Don't quote me on that one. But it is an extra um, standard deduction of $4,000 if you're filing jointly. That won't take in effect probably until 2024. So that will be a later on in the future for that deduction. So just want to give you guys up to date on all the situations and taxes, and just a little tax tip on this for today. That's it for me.
All right.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you,
All
Josue.
right.
that was good.
Anybody listening, you can enter your questions in on your chat. Do we have any questions coming in yet?
Not yet, but we do have situations as we all. What
Okay.
about you, Robert? Have you had any tax situations like this as regarding filing status?
Yeah, during district tax season, I got asked the question, well, how should I file? Should I file head of household? Should I file single or married filing separate? And one of the questions I got asked commonly it was that is it beneficial for a married couple to file separately?
Or
Uh,
under what circumstances would they
Mhm.
benefit from that? Like one of the situations, and to elaborate a little bit more on Robert's end, is hey, we just got married, but he owes child support, which is kind of the most common one, right?
Mhm.
And they're like, but I don't want them to take my refund. How do we go about that? How do you handle that situation, Jose?
yeah, so I always give them the options. You can always go married filing separate, or even like a nice situation would be uh, not innocent spouse, but
Injured?
injured spouse. So you can always file an injured spouse form with the return, just so to let the IRS know that the your spouse might owe back taxes or back child support, and it's not your responsibility on that situation. Now, it does delay the refunds if you're filing it for the first time. So don't expect it to be within that 2 week time frame that most refunds are going to be. So you got to let the clients know, hey, it might not be in the same time. Plus, it might not be direct deposit. Plus, they're going to probably send you out a letter for any explanation. Now, in doing that, they do take a portion, and I want to say it's um, the spouse that owes the back taxes. They are going to take whatever withholdings they might have on their W-2s to pay for any of that past debt. So you guys want to watch out for that one as well, and just let them know that hey, the IRS is going to adjust it to what they feel is reasonable for that situation.
Nice, thank you. Now, here's one that I've always encountered myself when I was preparing taxes, and they would tell me, "Hey Vince, we just got married." I'm like, "Congratulations! When did you get married?" "Oh, last year, December 29th. I don't know, something like that." Do I have to file married filing joint?
Yeah. So in those situations, no matter what, if you're married for the December 30th, you're considered married for the whole year. So yeah, for that reason and that aspect, you are going to have to file married filing jointly. So that is going to be one of the things that you talk to with the clients. Um, but you always want to start off with, "Hey, congratulations! Married
Yeah.
filing jointly." But it's kind of tricky because the first year, especially for that, we call it Cover California, but it's the health insurance that they get. There is some times where they have to pay back in that area. So congratulations, but what you're gonna have to do is do some adjustments on your forms for next year, and especially for the W-4s if they get married. You kind of want to help them out or direct them in the right way of doing it to make sure they have that extra withholdings.
Yeah, those are always fun to let them know because the response I'll get is, "Well, down the street they told me I can wait another year."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No,
So
no, you
that,
cannot.
that that's what I'm asking one of our top experts here. What's
Yeah,
the right thing to do?
yeah, yeah. So you want to always make sure you follow the rules, and you're always going to be married filing jointly or married filing separate in circumstances. So yeah.
Yeah, and then I know another situation that we tend to have is we're married, but I want to file head of household because I pay all the bills, and he or she doesn't work. How do you go
Uh,
about that one, Jose?
yeah.
Have you
So
heard about that?
I don't know. So it's yeah. A lot of you have to have a qualifying dependent for head of household. So it does say that in the IRS codes and regulations that um, in order for you to file head of household, you have to have a qualifying parent on that. Also, I want to just mention I did find the bill that the House is actually giving me 3936, and that's going to be the House bill that you just passed a couple days ago for the 24 and 25 tax year. And that's going to be that extra standard deduction that I talked about for married filing jointly filers to give them an extra deduction in that situations. Um, and there's a lot of it's called the Working Families Act, I believe. So it does give some other deductions. So it's one of those things like I don't know about you, but if it doesn't challenge us during tax season, it doesn't change us. And definitely every single year, this past couple of years, it's been a challenging tax year, especially with these changes. We live in California, and then we had these floods, crazy floods going on over here, and we have a small little town outside our area that was really flooded and damaged. And man, it's been a crazy tax season this coming year. So we have I want to say about a third of our late filers are going to be filing taxes during October 16th. So we're going to have another flood or another rush coming in for tax season. So to us, it just doesn't feel like it's been ending anytime soon.
Yeah, we're gonna end and then jump right into tax season again.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
exactly.
it's an ongoing thing. But awesome, thank you. Anything you wanted to add, Mr. Lopez? Uh,
Yeah, I ran across a situation this year. I was visiting one of the offices, and someone came up to me and said, "Hey, Mr. Lopez, I'm a single mom. I have 4 kids, but I only needed 2 kids to get my maximum refund. What should I do with the other 2 kids? Can I lend them to somebody?" And I said, "Are you kidding me? No, you cannot. Just claim all your children like you're supposed to. You cannot lend them to someone else." "Well, so and so down the street said I could." And I go, "Well, when you get that IRS letter, take it to so and so and have them fix it for you." So, no, you can't do that. You cannot share dependents because what the IRS looks for, well, first of all, you can't do that. If you're going to be stubborn and insist on doing that, the IRS is looking for relationship and residency. So the relationship, is it the same last name? If it's not, if it's a different address and they come in there and they said, "Okay, we want to establish if this child live with you, how are you going to do that?" So it just does, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's I think we a lot of us see that situation come up a lot, and they say, "Well, what if I do?" Because whatever agreement they have in between, we're like, "No, you can't. You have to prove that they live with you, first of all, that residency test." But
Yeah.
yeah, this is great. Thank you, Jose, Mr. Lopez, and Roberta for adding more information. And where can we get more of this great information at, Mr. Lopez?
Well, a couple of places. You can visit lopeztax.com, and you can arrange to have an appointment with one of our professionals. We can visit you via internet. We have we have Microsoft Teams. We have Zoom. There's very various ways. If you live out of town, we can meet with you. If you live in town or in Monterey County, we'd love to have you come by one of our 5 offices. Come by, make an appointment, see one of our professionals, and we're open year round to help you out.
Awesome. Yeah, you can also book an appointment with Josue. So everything's online.
He's a pretty busy guy,
Yeah.
but he has a lot of staff that's well trained and credentialed to help you out.
Now, what about the tax professional that they're viewing us? Where can they get this information?
Now, if you're a tax professional, you can go to latinotaxpro.com and you can get one of our VIP memberships. We have 4 different levels. The one you want to get is what's it called, Vince? The premier,
The platinum.
the
If you
platinum.
want the full benefits, the platinum.
You want the full benefits. We have a community. It's like your Facebook for tax professionals where you can ask questions. Have just it's a dialogue board. It's a wonderful place, a wonderful resource center. You get a ticket too, and I was going to save this till last,
That's
but
for
I'll
last.
talk about it right now. The Tax Fest, Latino Tax Fest. It's just in a few days, July 10th through the 14th at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Tickets are running out. That's an excellent place to network, meet different exhibitors, software providers, banks. Chase is going to be there, TPG, Drake, ADP, payroll provider. Just a whole bunch of wonderful companies that will give you the latest and greatest updates, the latest technology. If you really want to excel in your profession, you need the Fest.
Yeah, stop by and get a chance to meet Josue and the team here. We'll be there at the meet and greet and all of the networking events that we're going to be hosting. We start off with the meet and greet, and we go with the mariachi mixer, and of course we end it with the pool party with the salsa band. So we're getting really excited. This is the 10th year, 10 years doing Latino Tax Fest, 40th year in Latino Lopez Tax Service in the tax industry. So we're really excited. uh, Josue, are you ready to go to the fest?
I'm as ready as I can be. So I'll be seeing everybody
Awesome.
there, hopefully.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to it as well. So, as we come to the conclusion of our presentation here, a little webinar tax tip Thursday. Any last words that you want to say, Roberto, Josue, or Mr. Lopez?
Just have a festive day.
That was good.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining on whichever platform you decided to join us today. Again, my name is Vicente with Latino Tax Pro, and I look forward to seeing every single one of you at the fest. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Fest. Bye.